Quick, Bryce, quick, he's gaining on us.
I'm working on it.
We can't outrun him. His legs are too long.
Waluigi time!
If we just get back to the house, Mario will be safe. We've been away for 2 weeks, so we'll be safe there.
I'm going as fast as I can.
All I can smell is garlic.
Ooh, there's the warp pipe. Let's get inside it.
Wah! That was my only chance to get into Smash Ultimate!
Welcome to the House of Mario, the award-winning Nintendo podcast, a part of the 8-Bit Collective, and the doors to episode 77 are open. Joining me, as always, is my best buddy, Bryce DeWitt.
How much practice did you put into that? Let's be real.
Oh, a couple of solid days.
A couple of solid days.
Yeah. Locked myself in the dark.
How am I going to do this intro without screwing it up?
Well, it's different, New intro, new me. 2019. Let's go. And joining us for the second time on the podcast is our good friend Daniel Tredrea. How you going, dude?
Hello, chums.
Now, I know we asked you this last time on the show, but what's your favourite Nintendo game, just to sort of get an idea of who you are?
It's Majora's Mask, which might be surprising, but I feel like it's built a lot on the story on the same engine of Ocarina of Time. So Majora's Mask always has a special place in my heart.
Very nice, very nice.
I've also got a very soft spot for the original gens of Pokemon, the first games I ever bought, so sunk a lot of time into those back in the day.
So that's your favourite generation of Pokemon, Generation 1?
Not to be an annoying Gen 1er, but yes.
But you are.
But I am. Clearly, Grimer and Muck are the pinnacle of design.
And Voltorb.
Oh, Voltorb is great, yeah.
Voltorb's a great design.
I like Electrode, how they flipped him over, that was great. And gave him a nice little smile.
What should Magnemite evolve into? Let's just chuck another 2 Magnemite onto it.
I love how there's 2 sets of Pokemon in Gen 1 that it's just like, oh, how do we make this Pokemon evolve? Oh, let's just add 2 more to it.
Yeah. Dugtray is a really weird one. It's like, how does that even work? Are they Siamese twins or triplets?
Some sort of 3-headed monster.
It suddenly gains 2 sentient beings of itself, so I don't know what the fuck's going on.
And then they move to Alola and get surfer hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's made out of steel, no less.
That would hurt. That would be inconvenient, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to step on that on the beach.
No.
That'd be awful.
Be like an urchin, except worse.
And then it'd use an earthquake on you.
This week on the show, we're going to be talking about what we've been playing. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Dan's been playing a bit of Pokemon Go. Don't know what Bryce has been doing. And also our most anticipated games of 2019. But Dan, we'll start with you with Pokemon Go. You've gotten back into it recently.
Yes, returning player. A mate from mine at work got me back into it, and then since then I've just kind of got back into the swing of it far too quickly.
Have you been...
He's been Pokemon going for walks.
Pogoing.
Jesus. Have you been dabbling in those microtransactions? And
I refuse.
You refuse to?
I've been very tempted, but no.
So you guys make a game I'm enjoying, I will not pay for it.
Here's the thing, microtransactions in Pokemon Go, they're purely for the lazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're 100% purely for the lazy.
Or the country people who can't get spawns and you just need to force it to happen.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Like in the city when there's that many stops around, like if you go to like a park and it's just like full of Pokestops, you really don't need a lure.
No.
You can sort of just like walk around the park and just get them. But here when you've got maybe... How many would we have? We'd have 10 max, wouldn't we?
At the absolute most.
10 max,
and
2 gyms.
And the worst part
about
it...
3 gyms, I think we got here. We got 3 gyms.
Yeah, we do, yeah. And the worst part about it is it's like one half of the town is like saturated with them, but then the other half of the town is not. So it's just like if you live on the other end of town, you've got to walk all the way across the other side of town.
Or drive, which
kind of defeats the
purpose.
I've also put a Pokemon into a gym nearby. I don't know when I'm ever going to see that Pokemon again.
People still play actively here.
Yeah.
So you'll see it pretty quickly.
Like, it's the community day today for Totodile, but that'll be over by the time. But like, what are the community days? Because I honestly don't pay any attention. I see them on like Twitter or something like it's the community day today, but I actually don't pay that much attention to it. Is it just like more spawns for a species of Pokemon?
For today, it was Totodile gets an increased spawn rate for 3 hours.
Nice.
in December they did a culmination of all of the community days, which had increased spawns of all the Pokemon throughout the year, which is very nice. But I'm kind of underwhelmed by today. Feels like kind of the way Niantic goes with these sort of things. It's kind of underwhelming after you get past the initial excitement. But
Not getting enough Totodile, Niantic. Fuck you.
only 3 hours. I demand at least 4.
You call it community day. It's more like community lunchtime.
Yeah, get your notebook out. Write them a very nasty letter.
I will write them a sternly worded letter, and I expect no reply.
I didn't even catch enough to get it for Alligator. God damn it.
I wanted a shiny.
He got a shiny.
I did on my second Totodile after an incense, but
It's funny because I'm always like looking over, and he's got like the color correction on his phone. So every Totodile kind of looks a bit shiny because it's like that sort of
blue, green, teal,
bluey,
aqua,
teal,
aquamarine
color. And his phone kind of makes it look like that anyway.
Oh, I got a shiny. Oh, it's just a normal one.
How many
another one.
Totodiles did you catch today? 27. How many of them were shiny? 27.
That's what you do. You just change your phone so it just looks like you got shinies every time.
Yep, exactly.
That cat is going off, isn't it?
Yep.
He just wants to join in on the House of Mario, guys.
Yeah, fair enough. She's in the house of Cat.
The House of Drew, which would...
The house of Drew in the room.
The room of Cat in the House of Drew in the town of Bryce.
Yeah, I own the town.
Bryce, have you been playing much sort of over the last couple of weeks on Switch or apart from Smash?
Smash and Zelda. That's pretty much the extent.
Yeah.
Zelda's been good to go back to. I think it's just one of those games I can relax on.
Yeah.
I remember like playing that in the beginning. It was like a stressful situation in regards of like everything fucking kills me. But nowadays it's just like, no, I just got to play smarter.
Yeah.
So you play a bit smarter, and then you kill your enemy, you move on, do something else. Zelda's just one of those games for me. And it probably will be for a very long time. It's just something I can jump into and
comfort food.
Well, it's really good. It's a really good sandbox in that regard. Like you're not when you go in there, you're not restricted to being like, hey, I got to do this to progress. You can just go, I can progress in any way that I want, which is great.
It's like the only way you can really gauge your progress is like, oh, how many divine beasts have you done?
Yeah.
Apart from that, you just...
And I mean, everybody knows that the divine beasts aren't anything super special. Like they're not.
How many Korok seeds have you found? All 999 yet?
They're also not special. I just started Master Mode again. Obviously, I put it up on Twitter a while back for my 25th anniversary of being a Zelda fan.
So that's your relaxing Zelda time, Master Mode, is it?
Yep.
An easier way to relax is just getting your ass kicked over and over and over by Lionels.
Look, I've had not too much trouble until like I'd ride across Hylia Bridge, and then for some reason a Bocoblin's got a triple shot bow with bomb arrows and then kills my horse.
Sweet.
That's a whole lot of fun. That.
Yeah, I bet.
I went to Hyrule Castle equipped with like ice arrows and lightning arrows, and I'd just like zap weapons out of enemies' hands, freeze them, then run away. It was a good way to farm some good weapons. So there's little ways around everything if you just take your time, know what you're doing.
Yeah. Dan, you want to talk a bit about Smash? What's your progress on Super Smash Bros? You've 100% of World of Light. You've unlocked every character.
100% everything. I'm about maybe 40%, 50% of the way through the roster.
Yep.
I've done 110 stages of World of Light off the top of my head.
Nice.
It's been pretty good to just jump into in and out. I really appreciate how it's on Switch now that I can just... It's so easy to jump in and out just whenever you've got a spare 15 minutes, throw in a couple of matches.
Yeah, for sure. It's like the biggest upside to having Smash on Switch.
Especially like having it like downloaded on the actual system now. Like there's no like, I'm going to play some Smash. You walk over to your Wii U or whatever, you put in the disc, you wait half an hour for it to load. It's just so easy now, yeah.
And now it's just there, and it's so easy. Like I'll have like a longer break at work, so I just bring my Switch with me and I'll just sit in the back playing some Smash. Try and unlock some characters, and then inevitably get my ass just destroyed.
We sound like such a broken record, just like saying the same thing. Oh yeah, just great having the Switch. Just like, how many times can you say the benefits of the Switch on the podcast? But like every game that comes out, like which you really enjoy, it is such a benefit of having it. Yeah.
Here's a drinking game for the House of Mario. Take a drink every time we say the benefits of the Switch.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much, because you'll find you'll be taking a couple shots every episode.
And will you take a shot if we say something bad about the Switch? I don't know.
Oh, the Switch is absolutely terrible. Who would want that on the Nintendo podcast?
I don't know how drunk anyone would get going off of that.
Well, they might,
It depends on how many times we bring up the online service, maybe.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. We'll bring it up now.
Dreadful.
Online service isn't great, guys.
Take your shot.
That's a shot.
That's a shot. Take it.
And if you're underage, don't take a shot. Maybe.
Have some red cordial.
Yeah, that'll get you. I want to talk a bit about New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Just to gauge the conversation, who played it on Wii U? Who got it? Did you get it, Dan?
I played about a couple of 2-3 hours worth.
Oh yeah,
I enjoyed it. It just Wii U.
Yep, fair enough.
I played half an hour worth of that game back in the day.
Did you just play it sort of at my place?
Yeah.
Is that what? Yep. Yeah. Just full disclosure, I received a copy from Nintendo Australia. I wasn't
Thanks,
sure.
Ninty.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. I wasn't sure where I was going to pick this game up because obviously it's a full price release, $80.
You've already bought it before.
I've already bought it, and it's not a game that I was like itching to play.
No.
Mainly me considering buying it was the fact I want to talk about it on the podcast, and Mario games, 2D Mario games are fun. I would have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But $80 is pushing it.
So we were saying last night, like $50, $60 is the price range, not 70, 80, 90 Australian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously they price the game, like they don't make it a cheaper title because they want to put Mario up in like the top of echelons of pricing, so it retains its value, so people don't see it and go, oh, it's a cheaper game. But like considering they charge for Odyssey, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and all these other games,
They charge the same price.
it's the same price. It's a bit of a stretch, but it does include the
And it's also discouraging when you look at stuff like Crash Trilogy. That's like $50.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's like from the ground up 3 games remastered.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it does include the DLC, so you've got the Luigi U DLC. I don't know how that came out of my mouth so weirdly, but that was something I didn't have access to on the Wii U. I never bought that DLC, so having that to play through was a big benefit. There's heaps of content in this game. It just comes down to whether you're want to pay the $80 for it.
Yeah.
But if you haven't played it on Wii U, I do recommend it. It's just it comes down to how you value your money. I guess.
It'll be one of those games, if I find it at a cheaper price, I'll definitely get onto it. It's just right now, I don't think I can justify it.
Yeah, it's come out at a very different situation to it did on Wii U as well. Back on the Wii U, it was the launch game, and it was the very first HD Mario game. So the expectations for it back then were a lot higher than just, it's just the first game in January Nintendo's releasing for the Switch.
Yeah.
When we've got other things to look at as well.
Well, I mean, that, and I just think, I think a lot of people at this point have, a backlog of games that they want to buy.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's
Yeah,
just
I do
after Christmas, they might have got a couple of them. This is, the thing where they're
It's
just,
kind of the dead period of game
Yeah.
releases.
Yeah, exactly, because, nobody's got the money, but...
Great
even
time
if
to release it.
But But if you did have the money, I'm saying, you've just gotten over Christmas, it's the middle of January, you're starting to get your pool of money back. There's probably a bunch of games that you missed later last year because of all the Christmas shopping you've had to do or something like that, and you kind of just I would prefer to get them over that. I'm kind of I would prefer to go and buy a Roach Warriors 4 personally because I really like that series. But then at the end of the month, literally in 2 weeks' time, there's Kingdom Hearts coming out on other consoles, and it's kind of just it's in that dead period for me. Really.
Yeah, that's fair enough too. Because the first one on DS, New Super Mario Bros, was really revolutionary in what it was doing because Nintendo hadn't released a 2D platformer in a decade plus, and that brought sort of the 3D mechanics into a 2D. So you got the triple jump and the wall jumping and all that, and it was really awesome back then. Then in 2009, 3 years later, they put it on the original Wii, and they brought in the multiplayer stuff, and that was pretty revolutionary for that type of platformer game before Rayman and that was doing it. But then was it New Super Mario Bros. 2 on the 3DS? That's when you sort of saw it looking exactly the same.
Yep.
And they just put in the coin sort of gimmick, and that was fun. It's fun. All these games are fun. But they're starting to look the same. And in the same year, or at least very close to, then they released New Super Mario Bros. U, which was very similar.
Yeah.
And if you run the Wii version on an emulator and put it in HD, you honestly can't really tell the difference. The backgrounds are really beautifully animated and everything in the background of New Super Mario Bros. U. But apart from that, like, it's very similar.
It's not, yeah.
Yeah, and like playing through the first world where it's like, you know, the grass levels, then you get to the desert, it's all just like, it feels very copy and paste.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's still very fun. Just Mario.
It's just a
2D.
It's just a time-honored like way of making the game, really. It's like
Yeah.
same sort of way they were doing the original Mario Bros, just on Wii U on Switch.
Yeah.
It'll still be my eternal confusion as to why they picked that over World. I mean, I know I've talked about World before, and I've never been super positive about it. But
Yeah.
I would still probably would have preferred a World port.
Well, I dare say you're going to get a world port eventually.
You probably will, but
Definitely will, actually. You will definitely see world eventually.
I don't know. There's just so many games on that console that I would prefer ported over than just a generic Mario game. That
Yeah, I agree, but sort of the new Super Mario Bros. Series has been a massive seller, and they want to see that again on, you know, the most popular console.
Do you think it will though? Like, I'm not sure it will.
I don't know about necessarily on Switch. Like, it's a perfect Switch game, obviously, like every multiplayer couch game on the system.
Yeah,
Like, you take off the Joy-Cons, you're playing two-player Mario. It's pretty ideal for that. But like, remember New Super Mario Bros. On the Wii? That was huge. That probably sold like 10 million more units than Galaxy 1 did. It was huge.
yeah.
And obviously, Super Mario Galaxy is way better than New Super Mario Bros.
Yep.
Like, in every way. Like, from its music to just everything about it.
It's music, it's aesthetic, it's gameplay, everything about Mario
It's
Galaxy.
everything.
It's
Yeah.
everything.
And obviously, with Odyssey, you're seeing it sell really well. And I don't think a port of New Super Mario Bros. Is going to touch Odyssey, for example.
Oh,
but
nowhere near.
No,
Yeah.
no. I just think there's like it's just don't really see anybody clamoring to buy it.
Like, I reckon it'll sell, but it'll just be kind of middling. It'll be one of those library filler games.
Yeah.
You buy it just to chuck it in 2 hours.
Yeah. It's good game, but
I think Nintendo just needs to
tad expensive.
Well, that's it. I think personally Nintendo just needs to gauge what's actually pushing the money here.
What are their big sellers? It'd be like Zelda, Mario Odyssey, Smash.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Kind of look at what they're doing really well and then try and build on that.
And that stuff is okay, like paying $80-$90 for that stuff, but you know, for ports, like I went and paid for, I think it was like 60 or something for Pokken.
Like on special or something.
Yeah, but like that is relatively the price I would want to pay for that game. I wouldn't
exactly.
want to pay
Like
80.
the port of Captain Toad, they charge $60 for that. Like, that's a good price for Captain Toad. And Captain Toad is awesome.
Oh, it's a good game.
I can't say anything bad about that game. Like, just the puzzles and how much fun that is, how pretty it is. It's awesome.
I was uninterested on Wii U, but I played it on Switch. Like,
See,
I don't own it, but I
See,
played
I
it
missed
on
I
Switch,
missed
and
it on Wii U, and that was because I think that was at a time where I'm like, something else was out, or I was just sort of a bit sick of the Wii U, or whatever it might have been.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, absolutely loved it on Switch, and charging that $60 was a good point for it.
Yeah,
And New Super Mario Bros. I feel like it should hit that price.
it should be.
Yeah.
It should be $50-$60. It should be the same price.
Even though it's got heaps of content in it, I just feel like it's a bit.
Like it's just like going back to Crash and seeing that, like, Crash is 3 games made from the ground up. Sure that, you know, they've already got half the shit planned out for it. They've
All the shit planned out for it. Yeah.
you know, well, I mean, they still got to remake everything. That still takes time. That still takes money. And like,
Well, they built it from the ground up. Like, they didn't.
no, thinking
anything-
of it from that perspective, like, yes, it is a deluxe version of older games, like, put into a collection. That's 3 games in one collection. They probably last just about as long as New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe does. But you're paying 2 completely different prices here. You're paying $30 extra for Super Mario, and like, I that really just comes down to his name at this point.
Yeah, it's like, how much of a premium is the Nintendo name worth on a game like New Super Mario Bros. U?
Yeah, exactly.
And at the same time, I happily paid $80 again for Mario Kart, because Mario Kart was fantastic and had all the DLC in it and had some new stuff.
Yeah, it comes with everything.
Yeah,
Like-
and I was fine
It's
with
a
that.
perfect game for the Switch as well.
And I was talking to Twitter, where I was not talking to Twitter. I was talking to people on Twitter, and New Super Mario Bros. U was their favorite 2D Mario game. Whether they played the ones on NES or whatever it is, that was their favorite Mario game. And having all the DLC together for that premium price, they'll fine with that. So I think it just comes down to how much you like that game, and what your opinion on it is.
I just
And
think they
obviously ours is.
I just think they oversaturated the market with them in such a short amount of time that it just makes me go, well, they can obviously just shit out these games like golden eggs.
But at the same time, they weren't that close together. So from 2006 to the end of 2012, they had 4 games.
That's still a bit close. That's nearly annual release.
But like, if they were all like different Mario games, so if like New Super Mario Bros, then they had the Wii one, then they had like one which they called something else with different art style, different mechanic or whatever. I feel like we wouldn't be so sick of them. It's only because they just copy and pasted it for like the last 2, where we're sort of like,
and the coins as a gimmick. Coins as a gimmick isn't very revolutionary. It's just like, here,
No.
have a lot of what's already in the game.
yeah,
Pretty much.
It's, like what got me about the original release too was Rayman Legends was out the same year, and that game for me was doing like a lot more interesting things with the art style, with the mechanics, with the level design, with the music.
Oh yeah,
I just feel like that was a lot better game.
Rayman was a really stellar game.
Yeah, I miss Rayman. I wish they still made them, but Ubisoft are just seeing more success than everything else they're doing.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah. So yeah, that's sort of my opinion. I'm playing through it at the moment. I'm enjoying it, but I just feel like it's kind of a hard thing because for what you're getting, you are getting over 200 levels, and you're getting the new characters which we haven't touched on. So there's obviously Peachette, and you probably know what all this is about. But Peachette is the easier character to play as, and you've got Nabbit, who's a character who you play as, and you can't get hit by enemies and whatever. And you've got the normal Toad character,
Literally invincible. He's ridiculous.
yeah, and you've got like that new stuff, and you've got all of it bundled together.
But like,
So-
we played this game at PAX. Like, we already got like the taste of it playing Peachette and Nabbit and all that stuff.
yeah.
That to me was just kind of like, okay, well, that's what they've added to it, and that's when I gauged my interest in it, and I'd already gauged it. I'm just like, this, yeah, nah.
Yeah, I remember we played for like 3 minutes. I'm like, I've had enough.
Yeah.
I get it. I've played this game. I've got this game.
I've got this game at home, yeah.
I've had it for 6 years.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
that's,
6
and that's
years.
the thing. Like, I don't want to pay $80 for a game a lot of people have already got just on a inferior console.
No.
Yeah, but like a lot of people, I assume who might listen to this podcast wouldn't have had a Wii U. Like now they've got the Switch. And if you want a 2D Mario game, the full
It's not a bad one.
the full retail price, or you find it on sale, I recommend it, to be honest.
It's a good game.
If you can find it for a price which you're happy with.
It's just as somebody that's owned a Wii U and already been through the cycle of new Super Mario Bros. Game, because I bought the very first one.
Yeah.
And then
I love the DS one.
I bought
to death.
I bought New
I
Super
love it.
Mario Brothers 2. I played the Wii one. I played the Wii U one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I obviously not very long on the Wii U one, because at that point I was just like, okay.
Yeah, because you didn't even buy it. Like even with the limited launch library of the Wii U when it came out, you still didn't buy it.
Nope.
So that's how much you care.
That's how much I cared with them about
Yeah.
at that point. Like, you say, oh, no, you can sort of say, oh, it's not, you know, they were released 4 over 6 years, but again, that's nearly annual release.
Yeah.
That's one every 1.5 years, and they never really change all that much. In my opinion, they're all fundamentally the same thing.
I hope this is the last one in the new series, personally. I hope they do another 2D Mario game, but change it up. Don't just use the 3D art style. And
You know what? If you're gonna do it, just go back to World and 3D Land and that. I think they just
what 3D? Was that what you're
So
saying?
build on what they've done
build on
with
that
Odyssey.
formula.
Yeah. So like multiplayer, couch co-op,
Yeah,
Mario 3D. Yep.
yeah.
Imagine Odyssey like mashed in with the multiplayer co-op sort of game.
Yeah, because we'll move the conversation on to 3D World then. Like, I really enjoyed the multiplayer in that compared to these new Super Mario Bros. Games.
Yeah.
Just for the fact, like, you're not always jumping on each other, accidentally picking each other, throwing into lava, just like ruining each other's experience. You're actually like helping each other.
Yeah,
like,
working together to
Yeah.
get to
Yeah.
the goal.
yeah, and I really enjoyed that. I know it personally on the Wii U, it wasn't like what I was looking for. It wasn't like Galaxy 2, but it's still a great game, which I really liked. I know you sort of had an issue with that. You're looking more like the Mario 64 or what eventually happened with Odyssey.
I smashed it out, and it was very, very easy. And I just
You bought it though, didn't you? You did buy it.
yeah. I paid for it.
You paid for it.
I
Nice.
paid for it. But like, I smashed it out, and you know, we had a conversation about this, and people were just like, oh, they're just like, oh, the additional, like the extra content at the end of that game was hard, like the special worlds and all that, and I don't really see that. To be completely honest
Yeah,
with you.
they were fun at the end. Yeah,
It
was a good post game.
yeah, but I don't know. I beat it too easy.
Oh, you're a legend though.
I'm such a legend. But then I had conversations with
Absolute
people that are
legend.
just like, I found the secret world in Mario Odyssey to be easier than that one. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm like, that was way harder, because if you like hesitated, you'd like fuck up one thing, and then you're gonna go all the way back to this point, start again, do all this shit again. I don't know what it was about World. It was simple for me. I didn't have a problem with it.
What about you, Dan? What did you sort of think about that game?
I enjoyed it. Like, I remember playing all through the one on 3DS, which is very enjoyable. It's just
I love 3D Land.
3D Land's pretty good.
It was awesome, yeah. I love the post game in that too.
Yeah.
3D Land, that like big long level.
Yeah.
Which was pretty crazy.
yeah, like I enjoyed it, but to me, a lot of it doesn't stick out a lot. But like, out of the games that have been released recently, like nothing really comes close to Odyssey for me,
Yeah.
which is probably a lot true for a lot of people, because Odyssey's like the big title, whereas Mario games are a dime a dozen.
Yeah. What do you think about Odyssey now? We've had like a year to sort of separate from the hype and all that. Are you still like as high as you were when it initially came out?
Still a damn good Mario game.
Yeah.
And it's like it goes through the same veins as Zelda. Like, there's always a different way to do things in Odyssey. They don't give you one very specific path you need to take to get to the goal. They give you a multitude of options. Just the movement options you get with Mario and Cappy alone can send you on a completely different path that will get you that star quicker. Or, you know, like, watching speedruns of that game is fucking fascinating, because people handle it in such a unique way. Using all sorts of different strategies with Cappy and the enemies and the environment around them to get to what they need to get to. Like, it's honestly just more interesting. So, I mean, I'm still pretty cool with it, I think.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool with it.
Still bros with Odyssey.
Pretty cool.
I'm still pretty cool with it. I think that like it is one of those games that you can pick up and play differently every time, and that keeps it a little bit fresh.
I very much appreciate the amount of depth it has.
Yeah,
that too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you could go through and try and collect all the power moons, or you could just breeze through the main story. There's all sorts of things. There's so many things you can do in it. I did think the main storyline was a bit easy, but then I appreciate that's just to make it accessible to newer, younger players.
Yeah, like the
And
story.
then you've got the depth to suck in everyone else.
Yeah, the storyline's pretty much nothing really. It's just exploring each world like thoroughly, getting all the moons in each place, and
I think the excess of moons might have turned me off a little bit. In some cases, like having a whole multitude of moons that are just hidden around the place, that's really cool and stuff like that. But there was something about getting power stars back in the day.
yeah, like
That was more satisfying.
That's the one thing I reflect on. Like, you've got heaps of moons, but like some of them are just doing mundane things, and
Some of them are just given to you, basically.
yeah, like literally, oh, you see it, you walk up to it, just get it.
Sit on a bench
Yeah.
and talk to an NPC because he's feeling lonely and he gives you a moon.
Yeah, and like you have a couple of like memorable ones, but compared to say Mario 64, where you remember going and talking to King Bob-omb on top of the
Yeah.
hill on Bob-omb Battlefield, and it's just a lot like that, and like Tick-Tock Clock, like navigating through that and doing the magic carpet and that, like a lot of that stuff seems to be a lot more memorable than say stuff you've been doing in
Going
Odyssey.
up and chatting to some random NPC telling you to go and collect his bandmates or something. It's like,
Yeah,
go and find my guitar player and I'll give you a moon. It's like, okay.
I think they probably will do an Odyssey 2 at this point, but if they do another 3D Mario game, which they will eventually, I probably would prefer the scene go back to maybe 150 things that you collect and you actually like do a thing to earn them.
You know what I want? I want a Mario Odyssey 2, but I want it to be based on the universe of the Mushroom Kingdom.
Actually, just we'll go to spoilers for the end of Mario Odyssey, so you can tune out if you want to. It's not that big.
Right.
Especially in hindsight, when you start off on like Bowser's ship and you look and you can see the castle in the background, you start off there, then you go off and you work your way back there and you get back to the Mushroom Kingdom. That absolutely made me so happy going back there.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
because-
And I saw the castle. I was literally like, oh my god! And I just ran there as quick as I can. I went in there and finding the Mario 64 Mario skin and going into the bits of the castle where it's still like the same graphics from the 64.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved that bit.
yeah.
I thoroughly explored every bit of that castle, and I would
Like
love.
all of the surrounding grounds and like finding all the little secrets they hid around the place.
Yeah.
All the Easter eggs.
It was a super good end game treat, but putting it out there, What the fuck happened to the Mushroom Kingdom?
Don't know, there's a few more farmers around. There's some more trees.
It's also a floating island in the middle of the sky.
The Mushroom Kingdom hit the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah, well, it's been a while since we've been there, Bryce. Really, it's been a while since we've been to the castle.
Forward.
What's happening? Is like, are we using too much deodorant and causing global warming and it's melting away the ground? What's going on?
Well, it must be.
Poor Mushroom Kingdom, rest in peace.
Global warming comes for us all.
Where's all the toad houses? Where's the Bowser that comes out behind the side and goes?
We killed him. Remember?
Rest in pieces.
Yeah, rest in peace. But then he come back and he wants to marry Peach now. Like he's a confused man. That
Zombie
Bowser.
Bowser.
Where's the big bowl of spaghetti that Peach was said to have made?
She made a cake, not spaghetti.
Mario, come and eat my cake.
She made lots of spaghetti.
All right, let's move on to some upcoming Switch games we were excited for this year. So these are the most anticipated games we're excited for this year, and we'll just go through like some of the ones that are coming out. But before then, I better open this Furphy. I've not even opened my beer. You've finished yours.
The official beer of the House of Mario.
It is.
Yeah. Well, and we shout out to Daniel here. He brought a 6-pack in.
The essential supplies.
He brought the Furp.
It's funny. He said, oh, I got a box of Furphy and bring it down. Oh, sweet. I'm like, did you get Furphy because that's what we talk about on the podcast all the time? He's like, yeah.
Yep. Furphy should chuck us an advertising deal or something.
Yeah, sure.
Furphy, contact us, boy.
Contact this boy.
If you want to give us some free beer.
What's the beer company that does Furphy?
Little Creatures Brewery.
Yeah.
Little Creatures, yeah. Okay.
Just reading off the 6-pack here. Beer brewed and bottled at various locations around Australia by Little Creatures Brewing, part of the Lion Group.
Lion Group, yeah.
Well, what
Yeah.
we'll do is
The
we'll get
Lion
in
Group.
contact with them and say, hey, look, we put your name out there. It's become a running sort of gag on our podcast that your beer's our beer of the show.
Actually,
Can we have a free
All I'm
alcohol?
saying is, in this past...
no, because we know people that can get in contact with like the Lion Group. We should try something. It'd be funny. Like just for a joke. I couldn't even give a shit about like a sponsorship, but it would be funny just be like, hey, yeah. Or you get him to record, hey, this is Billy from the Lion Group who brewed Furphy.
Couple of furs.
Just
Yeah.
silly.
Yeah, don't know what you talk about in that dumb little show of yours, but yeah.
Enjoy some cold ones or some lukewarm ones as they are at the moment.
Yeah, these are warm. Yeah, it's not warm ale.
It's lucky.
Just how we-
English.
Yeah.
Well, it's lucky enough that it's Furphy, so it's drinkable.
It feels like Carlton Draft or something. It'll be a bit rough.
Oh yeah. If you were going after beer, you wouldn't want the
Warm West Ends.
oh.
Red tins.
See, West End's not. If you've had a hard day, you're sweating it out. It doesn't matter what beer you get handed you, you'll drink it. But yeah, right now where we haven't done much work, a warm West End does not sound good.
It does not. I mean, a warm beer doesn't really sound good either, but Furphy makes it drinkable.
There's some fish and chips. And need to get a little British accent going.
Fish and chips.
Fish and chops.
No,
That
now-
was English. That was New Zealand. What am I doing?
Now that we've had our beer company corporate shill there and our discussion about
Furphy, give
beer,
us free beer, please. Thank you.
yeah,
Free beer.
free beers from Furphy. Games this year.
Video game.
Yes, that's
What?
what the podcast is
Oh.
about.
I'm looking forward to the Furphy Drinking Simulator 2000.
So the first game, well, it's actually not. We've got Travis Strikes Again, which comes out in about a week or so from now.
So out of nowhere.
Oh, it's been coming for ages. We just
Yeah, but
I'm
we
not-
never got an announce date until like 2 weeks before it's coming out.
no, they changed because it was coming out the same week as Super Smash Brothers, and they delayed it like a while before then.
Right.
So, are you guys interested in this game at all?
Nah.
or-
Nah, I'm not overly familiar with the whole Travis touchdown, no more heroes, so I might
Yeah.
pick it up if I find it for a decent enough price, if it looks
Yeah,
interesting enough.
I dabbled in the first one on Wii when I found it secondhand. I think you're over.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you're over, and we were playing it sort of just like.
It's kind of just a hack and slash.
Yeah.
It's interesting enough, but
It's fun and it's got a great art style. I think I will pick it up just so I can talk about it on the podcast and get amongst it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't excite me too much, especially compared to some of these other games on the list here. But
Yeah.
I think it's $45, so it's not a full price game.
No.
Looks interesting. The next game is Yoshi's Crafted World, which we actually got a release date the other day.
out
just
of nowhere on
yeah,
Twitter.
just on social media. So the 29th of March. So only a couple of months away for that one. I'm looking forward to it. It looks really good from what I've seen.
Yeah, I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks... Yeah.
I'm just not sure if it'd be like a smack bang purchase straight away for me.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat.
Like I'm interested enough in it, but I've been a Yoshi game fan for a long time, and I played a lot of Yoshi games, and
Yeah. Yep.
I think
feeling.
it's sort of just coming down to like my balloon for that one is coming down to like Kirby level.
Yeah. Did you get Yoshi's Woolly World? You too?
I did not.
Yeah, I got the collector's box.
Yeah.
So that's probably why I'm not as excited for it as you guys. But like that, like if I find it, and like if I'm interested enough, yeah, sure.
Yeah, because like I'm just afraid I'll do the same thing I did with Woolly World. Like I picked up Woolly World, I didn't finish it. I played through like a bit of it, but I didn't actually like finish the whole thing.
No.
I feel like I'm just going to do the same thing. Like just watching the opening cinematic, it's like, oh, Bowser Jr. stole something, and it's like blah 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 blah. You know, it's the same. It's a similar thing again.
Not Bowser Jonna.
No, Bono.
Was a Jono.
Not Bono.
So the story of the game: Yoshi has to fight Bono from U2. I'd buy that.
Yeah. Elevation.
I'd like to see Bono in like a crafted art style. That'd be
Yoshi
great.
fights back against that free U2 album from Apple a few years back.
Oh, that's right. It just comes up. It just came up in your library. That was annoying. That was really annoying. I'm like, I like you too. I don't necessarily like.
I don't
it.
like
it's
it
alright.
enough to get it forced on me.
That was a weird thing. Yeah. Anyway,
Anyway, back to the conversation.
we'll move on to Luigi's Mansion 3. We've only seen very little about this.
I'm excited for it. I think it'll be excellent on Switch.
I'm too.
I need to play 2 first.
The thing with 2, like being on 3DS, like it didn't grab me. The screen didn't feel big enough for whatever reason. Like I wanted to play through it, I just couldn't get invested in it.
The way the camera works in Luigi's Mansion, the small screens suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the second one, we sort of used the 3D in interesting ways. It looked like a little diorama, and that was cool. But I think I prefer Luigi's Mansion back on the TV, where you can like soak in like the spooky atmosphere a bit more.
Spoopy, scary.
Yeah, spoopy. Next one's Fire Emblem 3 Houses. I'm looking forward to this one.
I like a Fire Emblem game, as opposed to Bryce's anguished groans here.
No, they're not anguish. Trust me, it's more like really, really hard orgasm.
Very okay. Well then,
I don't like the sound
I
of that.
changed my tack. I'm just gonna go move my chair a little bit to the left now. He's made a mess.
It's made a mess.
No, that game looks fucking phenomenal, and I really want it. It's like my if Metroid and Bayo 3 don't come out this year, that's probably going to be my game for this year.
I was sucked into Fire Emblem by Awakening, as I'm sure a lot of other people were, and since then I've just been hooked.
Yeah, I'm the same.
And just the way this looks, where you can actually like.
But have you been playing Fire Emblem Heroes?
I have not. I'm sorry. I've disappointed you, Senpai.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when you do your move and it zoom, like the way the camera moves into the battle zone,
Get an actual battle out of it.
Yeah, and like you see your like the war. It's not just a character.
The army's behind the characters and everyone charging in.
Yeah, and hopefully the bit where you can like walk around sort of your hub area or however the gameplay works. I hope that's good. Yeah.
You reckon you guys will play it more on TV or portable?
Probably portable. I think like
It's amazing how such a small thing can actually make a big difference to games.
Yeah, like a turn-based game. It's you do your battles while you're watching something on Netflix or whatever it might be, and you just.
I'm sitting here, you guys having a conversation, and I'm singing Fire Emblem's theme.
Thanks, man. Animal Crossing. You guys,
A lot of
really
people are pumped for this.
Yeah, I'm really keen for Animal Crossing.
I'm really no.
Hey.
Look, I don't know yet. New Leaf was great, but Animal Crossing has a problem with me where like I'll play it for a little bit and then I put it down and then it goes as dead as my Nintendogs.
Rest in peace, everyone's Nintendogs.
It's pretty dead. Yeah.
It's pretty
Does
dead.
anyone remember the Happy House or whatever it was?
Happy House Designer or.
Yeah.
So we played a bit of New Leaf and then went on to Happy House Designer, and I saw nobody talking about it. I saw nobody playing it.
I didn't buy it. I was close to buying it. There was one PAX where I had some time at the Nintendo booth and I sat down with the game, and I actually really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It sort of depends on what. Like in the normal Animal Crossing games, I couldn't give a shit about my house. I sort of like chuck stuff in there. And go, cool. This is my little museum. It's not a house. But then I'm like doing fishing and talking to people,
doing all your daily activities.
Yeah, doing the daily activities and sort of trying to get money, maybe upgrade my house, but put nothing in it, like whatever. Like I never focus on like really making an awesome house, but in that it was a lot more fun just because it was a lot easier and obviously a lot more focused on that. All the villagers are like talking about it all the time. And like, why are you also so obsessed with houses? Is this one of those programs on like British TV? Interior designer shows?
That new show on Netflix about organising people's lives, Marie Kondo or whatever it is. except the game.
I saw a couple of ads for those types of shows. It's like, oh, fair enough.
So,
Declutter your life.
do you think
Declutter your Animal Crossing.
Do you think that maybe Happy House Designer was made in anticipation to a rework of how these mechanics are going to happen?
Oh, to be honest, I hope so. I hope they put those mechanics in it, because it's just like you know how you've got to you hold A and you move your couch and in that you just drop it like you just use the stylus or whatever you did to just place it.
It just gives you more freedom.
Makes it less tedious.
Yeah, it makes it way less tedious. And I think that game just came out of Animal Crossing New Leaf is huge. We can't just release another Animal Crossing game, and that's how they had that game on 3DS and that. What was the board game on Wii U, which was a disaster? That's why they started putting those kind of spin-off games out, because Animal Crossing's getting big and they can't just put another normal Animal Crossing game out.
And then they essentially just stunted themselves, and now Animal Crossing's pretty much gone back to the same status it's always had.
Yeah, it'll be I'm keen to see what they do with it, because last time, all right, you're the mayor and you can do more things. What are they going to do in this time? You can go to...
You're the president and you can build walls.
I'm going to build a wall and make Tortimer pay for it.
Jesus.
No,
it's Tortimer the Mexican.
It's like the government's decided we have to shut down the government for 21 days.
Oh god, yeah.
Mr. Rossetti's fighting against you.
You literally can't launch the game. It's like
Animal Crossing US politics simulator.
Yeah, let's hope it's not that, eh? What's next? So probably obviously my most anticipated title, next Pokemon games, Generation 8.
Yeah, let's hope it has a post game.
Let's hope it has a post game, alright. Yeah, hopefully got fingers crossed this is going to be a return to form for Pokemon.
I do kind of want a competitive base game. Like something with some difficulty and challenge. Like in Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
All the 3DS games.
I don't think I lost a battle until I got to Necrozma. And even then I lost once and then figured out how to cheese it just using Toxic.
Yeah.
In no way, shape or form am I putting it against Let's Go, because as you would have heard from when we talked about it, I really enjoyed Let's Go and its simplicity and just having a good old nostalgia romp. But in saying that was my phone. Don't worry about it.
Buzz.
I won't worry about it.
I can breathe easy now.
But in saying that, one of my favourite titles out of the whole series is Black 2 and White 2.
Yeah.
And that game was... The thing with that game is it kept its form, it had nostalgia in it, and it produced new ideas out of something old, but still made it completely relevant to its own right. I think I want something like that again.
Yeah, well, that was Game Freak aiming a game towards you, who is the older Pokemon player, and that is definitely when they're on fire, at their best. I feel
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what this needs to be. You've just appealed to the generation that was the casuals, so
yeah,
make this.
Make it hard. Make it difficult. Make it a challenge.
Make it rock hard, stiff as hell.
I don't know. I don't know. You don't have to make the main game hard or whatever.
No,
just make it a challenge. Don't feel like you just
give us a challenge.
I think Sun and Moon had some good things in
make
it, like
the AI
doing
smarter.
Yes. But doing away with gyms and stuff like that. Yes, good. Those
Change
are
it up,
improvements. But the way they did it is
They changed it up, but it's at the same time you're walking into a place and you're versing a boss still.
It's still very simple. It's
but
a
I
gym
don't know.
in a different name. But the fact is they still tried to change it.
Yeah.
Or maybe if you're going back to gyms, don't do them type based, do them strategy based. All these Pokemon have really high attack. All these Pokemon will use strategies that you might see in a competitive game.
I like that idea. That's awesome.
Have a gym leader use a Bat and Pass team or something.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Yeah, that's an awesome idea. Because make you think he's water. Oh, I'm going to use grass instead of doing that. Being all right, I need.
He's water. He's going to use grass, but then he used Baton Pass and passed over his stats to a different Pokemon.
Yeah, so make you think
in the main games, a move like Raw or Whirlwind, I would just forget them instantly. But they actually have a place in the competitive scene.
Yeah. Well, maybe even save those ideas for post game. Just keep the type gyms and make it not like a challenge, to get through, but keep the harder stuff.
Does anyone remember Ruby and Sapphire and Norman's gym? Building entire gyms based around that sort of idea instead of just one.
Yeah, that was weird how it was just the one gym, wasn't it? Yeah, you have slacking at the end, who's just
and they just their whole strategy was just using items or it was a cool idea, but it was still kind of fit in that because they all used normal types. But I think I would love a game that just kind of makes the player think a bit more, need to put a lot more effort into raising a team.
Yeah, and it sort of went like Black and White 2 are the worst selling Pokemon games. So
Which is sad.
which is very sad.
They're
Like
seriously the best ones.
which is why X and Y they're like, okay guys, it's easy. We've got all the languages. It's open to everyone, and that's why that game is what it is.
Well, so what do you guys want to see in terms of like evil teams? Do you want to see them return? Because I've seen some people talking online like maybe do away with that sort of thing, or try and reduce the goals from taking over the world to.
Yeah, so the Pokemon games are so by the numbers now. That's the problem. It's like you got the evil team, you got the gym.
Well, that was the beauty of Team Skull.
because they were different.
They were just thugs.
They were just hanging out trying to pull Slavic slow.
I like
that was the tragedy of the
Aether Foundation.
Aether Foundation is that
they ruined it because they were like the oh my god, we're pulling Pokemon from like gods down, and it's like all right,
just calm down. We come here. We thought you were good guys. You've turned into the atypical organization.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was cool that it was like based on its own story of basically what was family conflict, but it was still damn stupid that a whole organization was brought down because of it. I don't know. I just think like when it comes to the evil organizations, they all have very clear goals and what they want to do.
Team Flare, we want to be fashionable.
Team Flare sucks. Team Flare will
suck.
always suck.
great music though.
They have great music.
Yeah, great music.
Shitty team.
Because I was listening to
God
it.
awful team.
I was listening to it in Smash again like the other day. I'm like, hell yeah, nice. They got groove. They got style.
Yeah.
What more do you want?
They got something in the face.
I love how like these bosses, like when you get introduced to them in the game, and I forgot his name. What's his name of Team Flare, the leader?
Cassandra.
Yeah, he's like talking to the champion. You're like, he's the bad guy. You can just tell. He's got like
he's got fucking massive hair out of everywhere. It's like, okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
You look evil.
Yeah, you look bad, even though you.
It's like
not
that
meant
thing
to know
of
that.
like picking the main character in an anime.
But just like in thinking
In
about
Digimon,
that,
you've got goggles. You're the main character.
It's like Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like you've got hair spiking out all over the place. You've got a normal haircut. You're the main character.
yeah.
but just in thinking about that, like the evil organizations, while I do agree at some point that maybe they need to have a something a little more meaningful within what they are and stuff like that. They're kind of, or they do not need to be in there at all. I think they're kind of a core part of Pokemon in general.
Yeah.
But like there are different and unique ways to do them. Obviously, Team Rocket, Team Magma, Team Aqua, Team Galactic. They didn't really go all that far. Team Plasma in the first game didn't really go that far in the first game, but in Black 2, White 2, they created this conflict. This emotional conflict between a split Team Plasma where one realizes their mistakes and what they did, and they're trying to help Pokemon, and the other one is still trying to carry out their goal of world domination.
There's conflict within the group rather than they're the conflict.
Yeah,
who
exactly.
should follow Getsus versus who should follow and blah blah blah.
Yeah, exactly. I
think
think that was great about Black 2, White 2. It's one of my favorite parts of that game.
Sort of building or contrasting it, so that I kind of want the evil team to be distinct from the legendaries. Like in Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal, like Mewtwo, Ho-Oh, Lugia, they didn't really roll. Like they were just kind of side quests, almost post game content. Whereas I'm kind of getting very tired of evil team wants to use
Ex-legendary
Kyogre for that.
Pokemon.
It's just
Yeah, so I want this legendary to kill people.
like, all right. It's like just chill, guys. Just relax.
I just think there's other ways around it. Like if you're going to give your bad guys motivation, they don't need to be taking control of gods every single time.
And it's like kind of what makes Mewtwo so memorable is like you have to go through a cerulean cave, and you have to go out of your way to get it, and it like builds it up as more of an encounter. Whereas you're forced to meet Kyogre and Groudon, you're forced to meet Reshiram and Zekrom.
Yeah. The way you that is something I will commend Black and White for, was meeting the legendaries in those games was far more interesting. Because it was like N's just like, well, I caught one of them, here's your chance to catch the other one and then fight me with it. Fight me hard. I am your champion, and you're catching a legendary right before the champion.
So that was sick.
That was
cool.
sick.
I will admit, that was definitely cool. Like,
And people ask
fighting
why I
the
like
opposite
those
legendary.
games.
Those games are phenomenal. It just gets a bad rap because some of the Pokemon are like strange and weird, but it's like, all right, But then, like, you compare it to what we were talking about before with like Voltorb,
Yeah,
like all that. It's like
swap Vanillux and Electrode in Generations, and we'd all be complaining about Electrode.
exactly. Like Vanilla, he's not even that bad. Like, he's an ice cream, yes, but
And
what's wrong? It's Pokemon.
Yeah.
And it's also Vanillish
Pokemon.
and Vanillux. They're all
they
they're
can-
all designed by not by Stigamori. So
I want to see a puppet with spaghetti hair in Pokemon. I don't care. It's bloody Pokemon.
All right. Let's cap off Pokemon because obviously we've still got a list to go
we
to.
could talk
but
about this all day.
We could, but ending statement from me. Anybody who thinks Diamond and Pearl was the better DS game
False.
out of Black and White series and Diamond and Pearl, absolutely false. You can fight me on that one. You can fight me on that
Fight
one.
him in a Pokemon battle.
No, well, fight.
You've locked eyes.
If you want to fight Bryce, he's available on Twitter at IVRevan.
Exactly. Thank you.
Just what I'll close on. I've already said this before, but we have the easy game. We have Let's Go.
Yep.
There's no point making this game easy as well because
No, exactly.
why?
Yeah,
We've got two exactly the same things.
exactly. Dan?
Yeah, I think I've been kind of summed up what I've said on this topic. Like, I
Stop hitting
want
the box, Dan.
does. I want something to challenge me. Like, I'm not I don't play competitively, but I'm also kind of not a casual player at this point.
I'm
Yeah.
not cashy anymore.
It's like I don't mind like jumping in a Pokemon Showdown. Like, I want something to challenge me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like use strategies that I could use in an online game.
I want a gym to beat me a couple of times.
Yeah.
I don't want to sweep through everything. Just
That's
like
what Gold and Silver was good at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gold Silver was great. I love Gold
Whitney's Miltank.
Silver. Okay, not so much that.
Roll out!
I also, on the just closing topic,
Yeah.
I would also love it if they don't announce a lot of the new Pokemon. Like, I would
Yeah.
love that feeling of running into something.
Sun and
like,
Moon ruined that.
Yeah.
Especially since it leaked as well.
Because I love that feeling of running into something like, what the hell is this? Like, I remember going into Jasmine's gym and like trying to use like water types. It's like, oh, Steel will rust. I haven't had that in a game since, and I want that again.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Next up is Damon X Machina.
Damon X Machina.
Machina.
It doesn't have a release date yet, but it's coming out this year, supposedly. You got this is on your list at all? Not
Nah.
really.
It looks interesting. It's just
All I've seen is the E3 trailer.
the only mech game I want on that console is a port of X.
Yep.
And it probably won't happen, but that's the only one I will.
Pray
will
to the
buy.
Nintendo gods for that.
Nintendo gods. Yep. Yeah. I apart from E3 and a couple of other like directs, like I haven't really seen much on it, but it looks interesting. I enjoyed the music and sort of the art style in it, so I'll be interested to pick that up when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Age, which one's that? It's 11. It's coming to Japan next year, but no announcement on whether it's coming to the West anytime
haven't
Did
soon.
you say next year or this year?
This year
Oh, thank God.
TBA, UK, EU,
Yeah.
and North America.
in Japan.
I haven't played any of the others, so
Dragon Quest 11's apparently really good.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I've heard good things, but I just haven't played them.
It looks great on the PlayStation as well. It's just
Oh yeah.
It's just one of those situations where, I can't be bothered playing such a long game on just my TV.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll say that a million times, but any game that's a long time,
Good thing you're a Nintendo fan then, huh?
and have to wait years to play it on my little slim little thing. And this is a big one, guys. Metroid Prime 4. I know you guys are looking forward to this.
Yes,
I know
please. I doubt it will happen this year.
Yeah, so you don't think it will come out this year? Because we don't know yet. We haven't-
I reckon they'll show a lot more of it at E3, and that's what I'm hanging out for. I want to see more than just the title.
It makes sense at E3. Like it made sense last year at E3 too, but it never happened.
I want Samus to come back and kick some ass.
Yep.
Samus.
I miss Samus.
I miss
Come
Samus
come
too.
back to us,
Yeah.
Samus. But I will. That is going to be a day one buy for me when it comes out.
Oh, yeah,
this
shit,
year
yeah.
or next will be day one.
I think most people listening to this show too will be like, yes, Metroid
Yes.
Prime 4 is right up there with whatever Animal Crossing, Pokemon. I would assume that would be the three which people are really busting their
Yeah, those
shops
are the
to get.
three major ones, I reckon.
Busting their loads.
Definitely for me anyway. Then Fire Emblem and Yoshi are a bit below that, and Luigi's Mansion too. So there's
Bayonetta.
we haven't got there yet, but Bayonetta is also in a similar situation to Metroid, I would say, where it's maybe this year, maybe
Yeah,
not.
it is. Yeah.
You reckon it will be this year, or what do
No,
you-
I'm saying it is definitely in that situation.
up in the air? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon E3 will get like an in-depth trailer and it'll be like, say, March, April 2020.
2020. Yep.
I reckon early to mid 2020 is when we'll expect it.
Well, it depends how in development it was when they put out that teaser.
Not very, I don't think.
No, I think it was just we'll announce it just to keep everyone off our cases.
Yeah,
Like, that's kind of a pain in the ass. I hate that because it's like,
yeah,
look at what happened with Breath of the Wild.
yep.
I
So
don't want that
it's
to happen.
basically Nintendo getting sick of everyone at the internet shouting at them.
I don't want that to happen with Metroid. I just want Metroid to be a good game.
Yeah, I mean,
And I want it to come out sooner rather than later.
this is probably not just going off. This is probably not the best thing to say, but I'm expecting big things from Metroid, like in the Game of the Year conversation. So,
You
Yeah,
would think so, yeah.
that's how much hype this has gotten. As at the moment, all we've seen is the title.
Yeah.
Literally, just like a gif of the title.
it's also interesting too because we don't know who is making this at Nintendo. We know Retro isn't doing it, but it's back in Japan with the original director. Can't remember his name off the top of my head.
No. Neither can I.
But like they'll talk. There was years ago when they were saying if they made a sequel to Prime, that it would be like exploring space with Silex and all of that. It'd be interesting to see if that's what he actually decides to do with the game.
Imagine like Metroid, but done like in the same way they did Breath of the Wild. So
Like
you can
open
just
world?
go off and explore space, but doing anything you want.
Am I just the worst person on planet Earth that wants the hunters to come back in some form?
Seems to be us, doesn't it? Like I haven't heard that anywhere else. But
I love the hunters.
Metroid Prime. Did you play Metroid Prime Hunters on the original DS?
I did not.
It was a fantastic game. It was a little bit repetitive.
I didn't finish the story because it was just like
The bosses were
It had two
repetitive as
bosses
fuck.
which just like swapped,
and then had one unique boss if you're 100%
yeah.
of it.
And I was young as well, and yeah, just didn't hold my attention. But the multiplayer was really really good, especially for just a DS game. And we're broken records. We've told this about like
Take a shot every time they say
Yeah.
something.
Yep.
yeah, take a shot.
But it was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was like the pinnacle of like multiplayer on that
There's
console
multiple
for the most
hunters
part.
with all different abilities. There's different courses. Like it was really cool.
Yep.
And like something like that for this game with like the online service and that to push, and Nintendo doesn't have a third or first person shooter, it'll be perfect for it. And I'd love to see a return to that type of thing.
Yeah.
But
same.
I know a lot of people out there are like Metroid Prime, don't put multiplayer in it. It's a
Story driven.
it's a story driven game to me. But
It just the thing is the multiplayer doesn't need to be fucking Call of Duty.
Just needs to be an option.
It needs to be Halo-esque. Arcadey type multiplayer shooter.
Yep, definitely.
With weapon pickups and shit. That's all it needs to be. It's what we're missing at the moment. Doom tried to
just
redo
jumping
it again,
off
but no.
Nintendo games.
How did Doom
the
not
sort
do
of
it?
The way The Last of Us has a multiplayer mode.
yeah, exactly, and that was great. Like I never really played it because back when that game came out, I had no internet, so I was just playing. I played through the story, loved the story.
Yeah, like the Last of Us is known as a story, but like
Yeah.
it still has a multiplayer.
And
mode.
it had a
Like, they
great
can still-
multiplayer. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could put that in a Metroid Prime just on the side
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it,
exactly.
it was unique, and it sort of played off the strengths of that game, which is like scavenging and
and scout and being stealthy. And
yeah,
Yeah.
it was really cool. And there's no reason Metroid can't do that again.
But like Prime Hunters already had a pretty decent formula. You've got several hunters. They all have their own abilities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether they've got their own different morph ball bombs and how they work.
And
You've got Noxus with his axe.
Yeah, that's
when he's
awesome.
in morph ball.
Yeah, like just the different like morph abilities, whatever you want to call them, was awesome. And what does this sound like now? Sounds like something like Overwatch, doesn't it? You got different characters with different abilities and like different attributes, and look how popular that is.
Yeah, yeah. I don't see why it couldn't happen.
All
It doesn't.
needs
It
to be
doesn't
as
have
simple.
to. It doesn't have to be like push the payload or King of the Hill, or it could just be deathmatch with
And,
weapon
yeah.
pickups and shit.
As ordinary as the online service is, Nintendo has shown they can do these types of games with Splatoon and their sort of support.
Splatoon is fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Having Splatoon and like a Metroid multiplayer along with Mario Kart, and say eventually they make Super Smash Bros. Ultimate good online. You'll have like a decent pool of games to sort of pull from.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I just think like I understand that like Splatoon's their shooter, but Metroid Prime had made a decent multiplayer shooter in the past with the DS version.
Mm-hmm.
Whether people want to contest that one on us or not, but I thought it was brilliant, and I thought the hunters were unique. I'd love to see them back in some form. There's a whole lot that I would like to see come back into Metroid Prime.
Yep.
And hopefully it does exactly what Dan said. It needs to be near Game of the Year material or
At
Game
this
of the
point,
Year
it's
material.
been so hyped. It's anything less is honestly, it's
Unacceptable.
gonna infuriate the internet.
Oh, for sure. But yes, no, multiplayer is a big wish for me, and if that doesn't make it in there by whatever stretch, but just don't base it off Echo's multiplayer. Base it off Hunter's multiplayer. And
Yeah,
you're fine.
not Echoes. Yeah,
No.
that's why people are so.
That's why people are
skittish
shitty about it.
Yeah,
Because everybody played Echo's multiplayer and they're like, oh, this is shit, but they didn't play Hunter's.
Yep.
Hunter's multiplayer was great.
and it's funny because like Hunters was made by like a small team at Nintendo America as well. It was like a sort of, I can't remember the actual name of the studio, but it's kind of like would do like the sort of experimental games on DS back then.
Yeah.
And they come up with that. That's why a lot of stuff was copy and pasted, like the boss battles.
Mm-hmm.
But they nailed it. Yeah, like I said, they nailed it with the multiplayer.
They did. It was great.
Moving on, this is a game there isn't much information on, and I don't know if you guys know much about it, but it's a game called Digimon Survive.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys seen this?
I haven't seen anything about it, but I've been intrigued by some of the Digimon story games that have come out, like Cyber Sleuth. Like,
There's a trailer that came out for Digimon Survive.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a mix between a turn-based game like Fire Emblem, for example, where you're moving around the grid.
Yep.
And it's also like a visual novel, so you're actually getting like a pretty in-depth story, and you're making decisions and trying to survive in like this world what's been taken over by Digimon.
Yep.
That's pretty much all we know about it. It's coming to Japan this year, and I hope it's coming over here as well. Looks really cool. I've sort of like Digimon's always something that's been in my heart for like as long as Pokemon.
Digimon monsters.
Like absolutely love it, but obviously the games weren't as strong, weren't coming out, and I sort of like lost my way of Digimon. But if there are some good games that are coming out for the series, really keen to get into that one.
Yeah, it's like Cyber Sleuth and all that. And Hackers Memory. They've gotten good reviews. They're just kind of outside my preferred genre. So
yeah, look like that Cyber Sleuth. It was like similar to Digimon, where you're similar to Pokemon, where you've got a partner and you're leveling it up and stuff. Looks really cool.
Yeah, yep.
I didn't play much of it on Vita. I should have, because it looks really cool. I don't know why I didn't.
You also got a review copy.
I did.
And you never finished the review.
Oh dear.
I did 3 of them.
Review 5 stars done.
Aren't you a legend?
I am a legend. And one of them was Senran Kagura. Do you know how to put Senran Kagura into a review without talking about how over ridiculously sexualized that game is?
You don't.
It's too hard.
What are some other games that are coming out this year? I am using our list on Nintendo Life, so thank you very much to Nintendo Life for having their list of 2019 games.
We've got a Pikmin TBA here. Pikmin could be interesting for some people. I never got into it.
Yeah, I didn't either really pick with Pikmin. Like Pikmin 3 was sort of like my first go at it, and
understand the appeal. Don't really care for it myself.
Yeah, like I love like the aesthetic of it all and all that.
Yeah,
this could be just a pie in the sky prediction, but I would love to see a new Kid Icarus game announced. I don't know if it'll happen, but it's been a few years since Uprising, and that grabbed me like.
The team that made it though is disbanded now.
But I would love a new Kid Icarus.
It was Sakurai's team. Was it Suda? No,
Team Sora.
Sora, that's right. Yeah, I absolutely loved Kid Icarus it was just hindered by its controls, but its story and everything was awesome.
Everything about it was great. The characterization was great. The weapons were great. The style of gameplay that it ensued was great. Like I loved that game, and now I want to re-download it and play it again because it was a fantastic game. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah,
even the multiplayer to some degree had Metroid Prime Hunters-esque feel to it.
Yeah,
and it was good. It was fun.
Yeah,
except the difference was that you could customize your own weapons before going into battle, and it was fun.
That was released 2012, so that's coming up to 7 years since that. So I reckon we're due for a new one.
I want a new one, but I just think that it would probably take a while, especially with Sakurai already with something huge on the table.
Yeah. Did you guys play Dragon's Dogma on
I did not.
PS3, Xbox 360?
I didn't, but I think I'll pick it up down the line.
Yeah, so that game got announced for the Switch as a port. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, so that's with all the DLC and changes they made a few years ago.
Yep.
And that's coming April 23rd. It's always a game that sort of appealed to me, but I never picked it up. So maybe the
I was always
Switch
told
port.
it was great.
Yeah, yes, so was I, yeah.
Good reviews, just never came across it.
Yeah.
I just never came around
cool.
to it, yeah.
Yeah, so I might be picking that up later this year too.
Yep.
All right, guys, I think we might leave that there. We'll jump over to our Discord, see what Metadox has to say about what he's anticipating. So, Metadox over on Discord, which you can join. We've got a link in the show notes if you're keen to join our Discord community. Meta says...
You're only just joining, Dan?
No, I joined just before the show, right?
He literally
downloaded
signed up
it,
to
but-
Discord. He literally downloaded and signed up to Discord, and he's joining.
Good
it now.
lad. Well done. Discord is a good app, and you should use it.
I still have no idea what I'm doing, guys.
It's fantastic.
Meta says, as always, I'd like the new Pokemon games to have a good post-game and good story. Other than that, I can't wait for the rest of Smash DLC, Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion 3, and hopefully a Persona 5 port, which we haven't talked about.
Too.
I reckon a Persona, like, seeing Joker in Smash, I reckon Persona 5 port could be a good bet.
Well, it's difficult to gauge because they've already got a game with Joker on a Nintendo console coming, which is Persona Q2 New Theater Labyrinth. So whether that's just an excuse to sell copies of that, or whether they're just like in really good handshakes with Atlas and they're like,
Yeah.
But to be fair, the Vita is dying.
It's not coming to
Rest
Vita.
in
It is not going to Vita. They
Ashes
want to
to
make
ashes,
a
dust
handheld
to dust.
version.
Mind you, Atlas still have Catherine Full Body Edition coming to Vita. Like, there's
So
still,
stupid.
they're still coming. They've still got games coming out to that platform. And Atlas put out the trailer the other day with a Persona 5 R, and it's got the PlayStation logo at the start. Yeah. So
But
whether
if it comes out for Vita, they know they're wasting their time, right?
I mean, I don't think it's the Vita. I think it's just like a enhanced version for PS4 or something like that. But hopefully there's also a Switch version in development, but we won't find out.
It's probably primarily pushed for PlayStation, but will be hopefully pushed to Nintendo. That's what I want it to be anyway.
Yeah.
Like, without it being pushed to Nintendo, it's going to be really hard for people to be like, who the fuck is Joker?
Yeah.
And like, a lot of people are going to get into it and they're going to be like, oh look, I really want to play Persona now because I'm interested in the character Joker, but then they have to have a whole nother console to do that. So then
That was something I was looking forward to. Like, I hope I will be looking forward to, because I really want to play that game.
it's a fucking great game.
And-
I would recommend just sitting down and playing it on your PS4. I don't care.
God forbid.
I don't.
God forbid I play the game on my other
Exactly.
console.
You owned it before me,
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
and you played like maybe an hour or two of it.
Okay.
I know you're not a big fan of sitting in front of your television and playing a JRPGs like a normie,
A normie, yeah.
but that's just how we have to play them, and it's a fantastic JRPG, and it was a contender for Game of the Year pretty much last year.
Well, I'm not going to start now. I'll wait to March.
Last year before.
I'll see if they announce it. If it does, if it's like, here's a PS4 version, no news on Switch stuff, I'll start on the PlayStation. Because I'm not going to start now. Then like Switch version comes out.
Should have started ages ago. Like, ticks every one of your boxes.
Yeah, I know. Just looking at it, I know that. And Meta also talked about the Smash DLC, which we didn't touch on.
No,
I'm looking forward to that.
To be completely honest, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it too. Dan, what do you think? Hey, I'm Dan.
Yeah, Dan went to take a phone call or something, and he just like left.
He'll be back.
I like how he just like silently walks off instead of hey, I'm just going to take a phone call.
That's
What
all right.
a nice young man.
Oh look, no, he's coming back just in time to talk about Smash DLC. He obviously heard what we were saying.
I've been summoned.
Summoned for what?
Summoned for the Smash DLC. Hello, yes, I am here for Piranha Plant.
Oh, he's soon too.
I'm here for PP.
He's here for the PP.
I'm here for PP.
Yeah, Piranha Plant. Let's do it. New main coming up.
Early Feb.
Not far away at all.
No, I think it'd be fun to play and all that stuff. Obviously, I've got my grievances with Piranha Plant, but I'm not. I'm not attest to him being in the game.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
you.
So have we had any others announced other than Joker, or just
Just
Nah,
joking.
he's the only one.
Just
yep.
jokes.
just joking?
Just joking.
Joker from Batman. Yeah, looking forward to playing as him.
The
Oh, fuck.
Grinch.
The Grinch.
You know how many people you're probably gone like you'd say, "Oh, did you hear that Joker's coming to Smash?" And people turn around and be like, "What, Joker?" And then they turn and they're like, "Who the fuck is it?"
And then Goku and Superman will also be in the Fighters Pass.
Oh god,
It's Superman. Remember that great game on Nintendo 64?
so
Now he's finally in Smash.
Classic games.
Good game.
lovely.
So who do you guys actually want to see other than Banjo?
Banjo.
Other than Banjo?
Banjo.
I want to see another Fire Emblem character. Not really. I don't really know. I don't really have anyone I necessarily want to see. To be honest, I've got no one where I'm like, I want to see this character. I would like to see Banjo because he's like, oh, he's a big one. Someone like Crash Bandicoot or someone who just like
Crash would be a good fit.
who gives me like the surprise, like, oh shit, that's awesome.
Rayman.
I'd love to see Rayman. He's a favorite character of mine. Love his games.
With their relationship with Ubisoft too, I'm not going to say that it's off the cards.
Yeah,
their relationship with Ubisoft.
it's just
pretty
so
damn
far
good.
we haven't had
I
a
just
character.
don't want a rabbit. Don't give me a rabbit.
Why
So
would-
far, we
no.
haven't had a character in Super Smash Brothers as like a third-party character that is outside of Japan. So
How did rabbits, like, from one game, Rayman Raving Rabbids, how did they manage to completely shelve the entire hero of that series? They literally just murdered him with a knife and...
well, the Wii, the casual player picked it up, enjoyed the waggle controls, and Rayman just got weaned out of it, and people liked the two little rabbit characters more than the limbless hero.
They're
just
the
the
minions
minions
of
of
the
video
video
gaming.
game world.
Yeah, like, literally, yeah. It's no difference.
So,
I
just
like how
so the last two
we
characters
both
the fighters
said that at the
pass.
same time.
Yeah.
I'll be fair, like playing through the Mario and Rabbids game,
I'm sure that was a good game.
and like even watching the cartoon on TV,
They're
it's,
also
it's so dumb, but it gets a bit of a chuckle out of you. Like they're not minion bad.
There's also that moment at E3 when the developer of the game was tearing up at getting a mention from Morimoto.
Exactly, that was heartwarming. It's got nothing to do with the game, but yeah, that was
But
great
it's
moment.
kind
great
of
moment.
vaguely rabbit related.
Vaguely rabbit related. Is that Is that going to be a segment on the show from now on?
Vaguely rabbit.
Now, Bryce, welcome to the part of the show. Vaguely rabbit related.
No, look, I
Now, Bryce, what do you have this week on vaguely rabbit related?
Just end me.
Suicide? Jesus.
And that can be traced back to the rabbits. There we go.
All right, very nice. What's next week on vaguely rabbit related?
We discuss how rabbits affect the loved ones around you.
Depression in young teens.
Yes.
Just imagine if they announced minions and rabbits for the fighters boss.
Oh, please, please.
God.
How about as one character? They're like in a trench coat together.
Oh God! There you go. There's an audio clip for your podcast.
Thanks,
Please,
please.
someone set that as your message tone.
Oh, God. Oh, you got a message. Oh, God. All right, guys. I think that brings us to the end of the episode.
It's been a pretty long episode.
Yeah.
Hasn't it? What is it? What is
I think
the
it's
time?
definitely time to end.
It's
that
been an
after the
hour
clock has
and
gone down.
15 minutes, and I want to thank you guys for listening to the House of Mario episode 77.
Thank you.
Bryce, where can they find you on social media?
Ivy Revan on Twitter.
Dan, do you have anywhere you want to plug on the social whatever?
I'm not flat out on social medias, but as of before this podcast, I will be in the Discord.
All
There you
right.
go. He'll be known as Treaders something in the Discord, I'd imagine.
D Tredrea 45 because I am highly, highly imaginative when it comes to username.
Why 45?
That was my number when I used to play basketball.
Cool. There you go. Bit
Bit
of a inside Tredrea information.
Fun
here.
facts with Dan.
And if you'd like to join our
Fun,
Discord
fun,
community, there is
Dan.
invite in the show notes. We talk about Nintendo games and whatever in there.
No.
No, you're what?
Sorry, I thought this was a Sony podcast.
Oh, it is.
No, I thought it was the Sega Dreamcast Memoriam podcast.
Memorial podcast.
I'm sorry, I will accept nothing that doesn't talk about the Atari 2600.
Ah, well, fair enough. Yeah.
Oh, I like arcade cabinets.
I was waiting for you to say something. It's just like that comes out. If you'd like to support the podcast, there is leave us a review on iTunes, and if you can't do that because you don't have an iTunes account, please spread the word to your friends, family, loved ones,
Follow on Spotify.
anyone who is interested in Nintendo.
Give us viewers.
This is going to be a big year for us, and we're hoping to really
Give us your
break
ear
out
holes.
and get into some more ear holes. If you can subscribe to us on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, other places. I'm trying to
Carrier Pigeon.
Podchaser. I'm trying to think of like all the places we are. We're anywhere that takes an RSS feed, so please check us out there. And it's going to be a big year for Bryce and I this year. We've got a lot of things in the works we'll be talking about later. And yes, I think
I'm sure Dan's got a lot of things going on too.
Yes.
You have some things going on, Dan, or
Oh, I got a bit of this and that.
oh yeah,
A few irons in the fire.
I bet it didn't.
A few pieces of bread that need to be buttered.
we need to pay some bills. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
I'm broke, please give me money.
And of course, we are part of the 8-Bit Collective, 10 podcasts and 22 podcast creators coming together. So go and check out 8bit.net to check out all of the awesome content coming from them.
8bit.net.
And Nintendo JUKEBOX this week is the Super Mario 64 File Select Metal Cover by Anthem. I've been cranking this one a fair bit lately, and I'm like, yep, this is the one I want for the first episode of 2019. So enjoy this, guys, and we will see you next week for another episode of The House of Mario.
You sure?
No, I hope so. Shit.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.